What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Saturday, March 26th. Now, we have some just complete insanity that's going on right now, and I want to address what is currently happening. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update regarding the stimulus package, talk about the risks of a recession, and also give you some daily news because what's going on right now is just insane. But let's get right into it. First, let's talk about the risks of a recession because the risks of a recession are extremely high according to multiple economists. What they're saying is that millions of Americans have yet to fully recover from the pandemic, which, if you didn't know, we are still in. And they have many more worries as well. They say, we are experiencing hardship due to red hot inflation, rising gas prices, the rapid increase rate hikes, the war in Ukraine, and the recent COVID case uptick. Those are all extremely important, which is causing additional hardships. Now, all these things combined have many economists extremely worried about what is to come, not what we are already experiencing and the hardships we are currently facing, but what is to come in the future. Well, according to Moody's chief economist Mark Zandi, he said, and I quote, "Recession risks are uncomfortably high and moving higher." That is not what we want to hear. Now, with consumers worried about rising gas prices, they're worried about rising rents, insurance, anything they buy. They are not able to spend as much money now on everything because they have to spend less money because everything is going up. So it's causing issues. Not only that, but the 7.9% CPI reading that we had last month, according to reports, it's going to get worse because that CPI reading of 7.9% didn't even include the Russian invasion into Ukraine. Because keep in mind, the Russian invasion started on February 24th at the end of the month. So we didn't even see the bulk of the disaster that we're seeing now, and many predict we are going to see inflation rates well into the 8% range just this coming month. So if you are worried now, they say you should be more worried in the future. So here's what we know. If this happens and we see inflation come in higher than 7.9%, which I can almost guarantee it will, I'll pretty much put 100% guarantee that inflation is going to come higher this next month than 7.9%. And if this happens, economists predict that the Fed will need to raise rates even faster. And when they do this, it creates an even higher probability that the economy goes into a recession. Okay? Those are the words coming out of economists' mouth. Economists don't just throw around the word recession lightly because it will scare people. Now, if we do head into a recession, experts say that there are certain groups of people that will be impacted the most. It's going to be the lower and middle class, and they are already experiencing a lot of hardships. But they say that much of this is due to gas prices, food prices, and even utility payments. But they also say that fixed income households are going to struggle as well, if they have not done so already. Now, the reason why I bring this up and why I continue to monitor the situation for people on Social Security is because people on Social Security have been screwed for the past 2 years. Let me just explain how. First, many didn't get a stimulus check. Okay? Many did not get a stimulus check because they were dependents on another person's tax return. And they were older than 18, so they didn't get a $1,200 stimulus check. Screwed. They got a 5.9% cost of living adjustment for 2022. And we knew going in, this was never going to be high enough. Screwed. They are projected to get 7.6% cost of living adjustment for 2023. And that sounds good and all, but the problem is we are going to see higher inflation. And this is why they could justify 7.6% for the cost of living adjustment. But things would get much worse. Again, screwed. This is why I want to continue to monitor the situation because people on Social Security and on fixed incomes are getting screwed. And let me know if you think that exact same thing down in the comment section below. Now, this is also why lawmakers have made it very clear that if we are going to see higher inflation due to the war in Ukraine, then we need to do more. And it's because of this that they're pushing President Biden to accept the fact that we have higher inflation. Okay, we have higher inflation. Let's figure out a way to get through it. They say, provide the American people with more support. Give lower income and fixed income households hope that they are being taken care of and looked after. And they say, be the president that you said you would be for the people. Now, let me just ask you this. Has President Biden, and I hate bashing a president or really anybody, but has he shown over the past year that he is for the people? He's done certain things. He's helped. We did get a $1,400 stimulus check. This was very helpful. This helped millions of Americans. But has he proven time and time again he is for the people? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Now, whether all these discussions lead to more stimulus, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But what I do know is that unless Senator Joe Manchin gets out of his way, right, and we start to tackle things like climate and the tax revision, because these are the things that has to be done first, according to Senator Joe Manchin. And if they're not done first, he's not going to go for it. So, at this time, Republicans are blasting Democrats for things that they say were wasteful spending, though, for the American people's tax dollars. Even Senator Mike Braun, he said that he is outraged over the spending that Democrats were able to get away with because all states received a portion of $350 billion. Now, here are just some of the ways that this money was spent outside of providing essential workers checks, giving money to single parents, providing incentives for vaccines, and things like that. Listen to this list and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. In Broward County, Florida, they spent about $140 million on a new 29-story luxury hotel, about 800 rooms and 11,000 square foot spa. In Dutchess County, New York, they paid about $12 million in federal funds to renovate a New York Yankees affiliated minor league team stadium. In Massachusetts, $5 million was used to pay off debts of the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the U.S. Senate. $400 million was used to pay for new prisons in Alabama. $2 million to the Pottawatomie County in Iowa to buy a privately owned ski area. Sounds nice. $6.6 million to replace 2 Colorado Spring golf courses' irrigation systems. And a combined $80 million for tourism marketing campaigns for Puerto Rico, Tucson, Arizona, and Washington, D.C. Let me ask you, is this what you wanted your $350 billion to go to? Probably not. Now let's touch on COVID for a second, because multiple health experts here in the U.S. have said that even though we will see an increase in COVID cases due to BA.2, they say it is not likely to hit us as hard as it has in Europe. Here are the reasons why. Currently, they say the U.S. isn't using typical test-based sequencing to track COVID. We're using wastewater to see RNA levels in local sewage. Sounds disgusting, but they say this is better. This is also a faster way to tell where we stand in regards to other countries. They say another reason why we will not be hit as hard as Europe is because Europe has done some very serious social distancing and masking. But here in the US, we have had our last lockdown was like 2 years ago, right? Many people didn't wear masks, many people didn't get the vaccines, and they just went on with their lives. So, even though many experts say you shouldn't have done that then, they're now saying that being that that's kind of what the American people did, that's probably the reason why we're now able to just live with COVID. So, experts say that one of the reasons why we won't get hit as hard as Europe is because we were taking the steps to live with it and not pure avoidance. That's the key. Right now, we also know that it is good news that experts don't consider this new BA.2 variant as a severe threat, which is always a great sign. Also regarding COVID, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer has told representatives just yesterday that they should be ready for a vote on another COVID relief bill in early April. He said, "Be ready to consider a supplemental appropriations bill to fund our continuing response to the COVID pandemic." He says, "The House will be ready to act on this critical priority as soon as the Senate sends us a bill. And as of right now, it is expected to be at $15.6 billion in new funding. Not repurpose funding, in new funding. That's what we're hearing at this time. So, as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, share all latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.